Hello and welcome to Life with Francie podcast, a place where you will find all kinds of conversation like mental health, self-care, self-love, trauma, hobbies, and more. With this podcast, I want to create a place where we support one another to get to the next level in personal and business life. Hope you enjoy this episode. Now, let's get this show started. On today's episode, I have the pleasure to talk to Jesi, a purpose-driven coach. She loves helping others to step into the life they were meant for. Now, let's welcome Jesi to the show. Hi, Jesi. So, what is Life with Jesi all about?
Hi. Oh, it's so nice to be here. So thank you first and foremost for having me. But yeah, life with Jesse, that's such a such a big question, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels like this, but life is different every day.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be honest, I really feel like my entire life every day is just how can I live out my mission and my purpose because I've started to take it a little bit more serious than ever before. I'm starting to see the huge need that the world has to be served in the capacity that I can help. So I'm like, okay, I guess I just got to hit the ground running and go. So every day I'm on different platforms, coaching, serving clients, creating my newest container, working on my own personal development, working in masterminds, working with coaches, working on like my relationship with my partners. So always thinking about how I can leverage everything that I'm learning all the time, and enhance my relationship, and my relationship with myself, and just so I'm doing everything right now to be the most well-rounded version of myself that I've ever been, to not only show up in a way that I'm really proud of, but in a way that I know is going to allow me to serve and amplify the coaching that I do. So yeah, so there's so many components to it, but really, I mean, long story long, I guess you could say I'm just such a curious person. I'm always diving into things that just really I feel magnetized towards. So lately, it's been a lot of spirituality, and just diving into the truth, I guess you could call it. So that's kind of the path that I'm on right now, but all of it as a byproduct of going towards a more aligned kind of research and deep diving in rabbit holes has led into a more aligned path in every other way too. So just coming into more of the truth of like who I am, how I'm meant to serve, and how to make every single day just amplify that mission even more.
I love it. And I've been following you for a minute. I absolutely
Oh,
love your content. You
thank you
ask
so
some
much.
serious questions that make you think.
You know what's funny about that, and so thank you for that. I have shared this before, but one of my very first, and it's funny, I'm like a career coach now. Well, that's what I call myself, but I'm like anybody that works with me knows like we go so much deeper. But I remember my very first job. I was actually fired, and my boss at the time, what he had told me, basically in a backhanded compliment kind of way, was like thank you for appreciate your time and energy, don't ever lose your curiosity. And I took that so hard because I took that as he was basically telling me like the only skill I provided here was being curious and learning about people. And I had a chip on my shoulder about that, and for a really long time I didn't want to be the curious person. I didn't want to ask questions. I stayed very, very quiet for a long time. And then as I started following a more aligned path and moving towards, my business and serving in a bigger way, the thing that has propelled me the furthest is the skill of curiosity. And I now see it as a skill versus like, oh, like you don't really have any other skills, so I guess this is something nice that you have. I really started seeing it as something that could up level me, and then it's turned into it's evolved. That skill has evolved into asking deep questions because I'm not afraid to like I don't filter myself anymore. So it's just so I wanted to just say that because I feel so seen, and that feels so good because for so long it was something that I felt really I felt very upset about, wishing like, oh, I wish I had more skills and abilities. When really, once I harnessed that and accepted that and saw how I could grow that, it turned into so much more. So there you go.
Wow. Yeah, I wish I had that superpower, but I don't know why I'm like just not curious. Like as we were talking, through messages and you're asking me questions, and I was like, I wish I had that gift, of
I
like,
think you do.
trying to find out more and ask the right questions too.
Well, I think you've got a podcast, so I imagine it's in there. I imagine, and I'm sure I already feel it. We've had such
I
good
guess
conversations. We've
so.
had such good conversation. I'm like, what are you talking about?
So yeah, tell me more about this career coaching.
Yeah, so it definitely has evolved. So I never wanted to call myself the career coach. And to this day, I still don't really call myself that. I'm more of an intuitive life transformational coach. But my niche is helping people navigate their careers and find their life purpose. But
Oh
it's
my
something.
gosh, I'm so sorry. Give me a second. Okay, so yeah, career coaching. Can we talk more about that?
Yes, yes. So career coaching, it's funny because for a really long time, I never really wanted to call myself the career coach, and it took me a minute to full on accept that's what I am. But really, I more so like to say I'm more of an intuitive, life transformational coach. And for anybody that works with me, they know like we go so much deeper than just the career stuff. So that's just career is more just my niche. It's my specialty. I spent 8+ years in corporate America being a technical recruiter. I know how to help people climb the ladder, but my specialty, my favorite thing is helping people connect with their real life purpose. So through my methodologies that I've created for the last few years now, I help people navigate figure out what their purpose is and actually move them towards it. So it's a lot of fun because we dive into mindset, we dive into self-love, we dive into healing the stuff that matters, connecting a lot of deep dots that can be the thing that is, once we connect it, we release so much, and it allows you to have that more of that abundance and success in your now and get out of your own way. So that's a lot of the work that I love to do. But yeah, the title of it, I'm still playing with. I really think that your titles, your businesses, as far as like how you market yourself, brand yourself, all of that evolves with you and it's never done. So I
Mhm.
know that, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, pick something. So that's kind of what I did is I was like, I do feel aligned to the career side. That was a big part of my path for a long time was climbing my own ladder. And now I want to help other people do it, but with a spin. I want people to understand that you are not your career, you are not your job. And I want to help you find the value within yourself and then leverage the actual tools of like what I want you to leverage what the essence of what makes you you and what magnetizes you to success and abundance because it's something different for everyone and that's where my intuitive stuff comes in. And then once we understand that, then I can give you customized action steps to actually move towards and take action towards the thing that lights you up and then find out how to make a career out of it. And I teach you how to do it in the way that it's different than I did it initially. And like I've done it twice now where I kind of long story, but I basically left my career twice trying to build this business. The first time I did it, completely had no plan. I had no idea about business. I really operated under the idea of if you have a plan B, you don't have a plan A, which means you're not all in, you don't really care. And so I was like, I'm burning all the boats. And I like screwed myself over completely. And then I had to go back into corporate America a year later. And I promised myself I was going to do it right the next time. And under a year's time from that point, I ended up being able to go full time in my business and I haven't looked back since. So I now have the right formula to help people do it no matter what your goal is, right? Some people want to start a business. Some people want to climb the ladder. Some people are sure what they want, right? But I can help you navigate that, and I do that through the path that I've done for myself, and now have helped I don't even know hundreds of women at this point do for themselves. So it's there's so much I could share on it, but I really when I look back at it, mentoring, coaching has always been in my blood, something I've just been born to do. I really believe that, but really owning it in a different way and allowing myself to serve in this bigger capacity has really only been that has been newer for me. So it's been a really fun journey to just kind of take it up a notch and explore things in this way and connect with amazing women. And but yeah, it's just been a journey. So there's
I
so much to it, right?
I love that and I get it. I have struggled for the longest time and I had to do a lot of trauma work to get to where I am today. And now my friend sees me and they're like, Oh my goodness. Like I wish like I had a passion like you do for podcasting. And I'm like, well, you have to do some inner work before you even start anything. And the journey of self-love before you can clear some space in your head to like move forward into like whatever your passion or your career is. I'm glad for me, I found podcasting, and now it's like, where do I go from there? Because I need to replace my income before I even think about leaving my job.
Mm. Well, I'm curious too, how did you, when you were doing personal development work, how did you decide that podcasting was the thing for you? Because I always tell people, like, you don't always know what that thing is. Even if you're like meditating on it, doing personal development, like, and you don't always know until you start moving. Still, until you lead with curiosity and say, this is kind of interesting. I'd be down to explore that. And then action is what creates that clarity, right? And then that's kind of when we figure out more of what we want to move towards. But I'm curious for you, like, how did you know, like, or decide to get curious about podcasting?
I have always had the incline or like the feeling to help out others. And 10 years ago, I started my journey with depression. And then 6 years ago was with anxiety. And I was introduced to podcasts. I saw Lewis House in an interview with Ellen, and he has the School of Greatness. And I was like, what is a podcast? And then I started listening to it. And then 4 or 5 years later, I was like, I can do this. Like, I love talking, I love meeting new people, and I love serving people. So December 28th of last year, I decided to hit record.
Yes, that's amazing. I think that's amazing, and I just want to acknowledge you for the fact that you saw, you saw this thing that created this like it almost sounds like it's created a spark within you. And you're like,
Yes.
"Ooh, what is that?" And what happens is so many people will then take that and be like, "Oh, that's cool for them." Right? But I could never do it. But instead, you were like, "Wait, maybe," like obviously you said 4 or 5 years later, but you let the idea become a seed, and then you watered it over time and then allowed it to grow into what it is today. So I don't know, I just thought that was really cool and wanted to acknowledge what
Thank
I
you.
saw.
Yeah, no, yeah, for I'd say I talk the talk for years before I do the walk. So that's
Okay.
me. Yeah. Like I gotta talk about it. And yeah, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And uh after 6 months of podcasting, no, oh my gosh, almost 9 months now, um, I'm creating my website. So I'm going on YouTube to learn all the skills and all the things that you need. So like everything is me, myself, and I with a full-time job.
Wow, that's amazing. And you know what? This is what I love about entrepreneurs and the people that have this spirit is like we're such a rare breed. We're such a different type of breed where it's not like, oh gosh, I don't know if that's for me, like whatever. It's I'm gonna figure out how to figure it out. And
Yep.
it's this like fiery energy. And so it's so awesome to hear that and see that. And I'm excited to continue watching your journey, honestly.
Oh, thank you. You're so nice. So you offer workshops, or you're in the works to do workshops?
So yeah, there's a few different ways that I work with people. Right now, my biggest way is one-on-one, because I'm still at a place where offering that like high touch, white glove, like one-on-one time to really dive deep with somebody is like I have time for it and I'm passionate about it, and that personally is what changed my life immensely. So I offer that in a few different capacities, but yeah, I am building out a membership right now, and I'm really excited about it because it's going to allow me to serve more people at one time. And so I can't wait. So I have not launched it officially yet, but it will be called Awaken the Goddess Membership, and it's going to be all about diving into helping women connect with their true essence, their soul, what lights them up, really getting clarity on that, and then helping you with the tools that I've had. I'll be bringing in guest speakers. I'll be creating workshops within that container and then it will be a bunch of women in there too, so we can all workshop off each other. And it's helping women get the customized steps they personally need, but in a safe space to grow and form the ideas, and then helping you navigate that and move through that through me as your coach, and then the other, other professionals that will be coming into the container as well to amplify things. So that's my latest baby that I'm birthing. But I'm so lit up about it.
It sounds so exciting.
Thank you. And it birthed from, I do have a women's community that I started. Actually, that starting that was, it was so funny. I started that because I've been feeling this call to serve more. And I was at a brunch, like a brunch kind of like, yeah, it was like a boozy brunch basically with a friend on like a Saturday. And I was sitting there and I had been praying for answers and guidance. And literally in the middle of this brunch, I get this idea, this download. It was like, you basically need to go create this container now. And I was like, this doesn't even make any sense. Like right now, I'm in the middle of enjoying my life. And so I told my friend, I was like, this is gonna sound really weird, but I have got to go and I've got to go create. I was like, maybe we can connect later tonight, but I've got to go. And I like sprinted home. I like sprinted home and I made this container. And it's called ended up being called the Goddess Collective. But that has been the most beautiful thing I've ever made, even past the one-on-one coaching. And it was just, this month, or excuse me, this weekly thing for almost 9 months. And I brought in guest speakers and we had this beautiful community of women that's over 200 members. And basically, I took a pause from it the last couple of months because I knew it needed to become more. And what's been birthing from that is this new membership, but it's more elite, more VIP, bigger opportunities to help women in a customized way instead of this free flowing, kind of just no structured container that I had going for a while. It's now so much more defined and planned out. And I'm really going to be taking the women somewhere in there versus just having this community to connect with. It's let's take you on a journey that your soul is craving. So I just got chills. So
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know. Me
that's a
too. Wow, that sounds awesome.
that's a little bit on what is happening. But see, when I tell people I'm like a life and career coach, I'm like, but chat with me for 5 minutes and you'll see it's so much deeper.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like it. And it sounds so interesting. And it's needed in the world
Yeah.
because a lot of us are stuck in jobs that we don't see a way out.
Exactly. And I felt the same way for so long. It would get to the point where like I'd be at my desk and I would feel like my body would start getting really hot. And now I'm an empath and I'm super connected to my body, and I'm also a very kinesthetic learner. I was dancer for a really long time, like a competitive dancer for a really long time. And so my body feels things, but it got to the point where I was ignoring my purpose and ignoring figuring out how to figure it out and ignoring asking for help for so long that my body started to physically react to my environment that was not aligned to who I was. And I promised myself, like, I'd be literally crying in the bathroom all the time or crying in my car before going into work, bawling my head off so that way I could let it out so nobody could see, like, so I could I could keep my face on right at work and nobody saw, like, basically my poker face. I didn't want anybody to know that I was miserable. So, anyways, I remember promising myself in those moments when I was just crying and bawling my head off, I told myself, when I figure out how to figure this out, I'm going to help other women. I just knew that was like something that just came to me. I was like, I'm going to help other women never feel like this because I knew I wasn't alone. Because I would go to happy hours or work events, and half the time, if not majority of the time, was connecting with people and it was used as event sesh. These people were telling me stories that felt very similar to mine, but all of us were hiding it. Every single one of us were hiding it. And so I knew there was a deep, deep pain that goes so much deeper than we can ever realize. And I'm now starting, as my intuitive gifts are starting to come in deeper, as I'm doing this spiritual work, as I'm diving in deeper to my personal development than I've ever done before, I'm learning how deep these wounds actually go. And so now I'm ready to shout from the rooftops all the things that I have to offer and help people with because I get it. I've been in those places where it feels absolutely stuck and you feel like you don't know how to get out of it. And I won't settle for it anymore for women to, especially women. I'm passionate about helping women, but
Mhm.
I never want people to feel that pain because it is so hard. And it actually caused me a lot of health stuff for a long time too, that I didn't get answers for almost 3 years. And so I saw the deep, tangible effects that not living in your purpose was causing. And we think, so many of us live our lives and think, oh, okay, I'll just get through it. It's just, it's just an annoying job. Like we all feel like this is what work is. But you don't realize how much every day of feeling like that compounds. And then what that actually can create physically in the body. And so it's so important. If anything, do it for your health, right? But until our world goes crashing down, it's really hard to be our own advocate and do things different, get out of our own way. So I'm passionate about making this stuff possible for people, right? I want them to understand it's so available to you now to get out of your stuck, right? So anyways, I could go on. I know I'm like rambling, but
No, you're awesome.
I'm so passionate,
Great. Yeah, no, I love it. So do you have a website, somewhere that my followers can go and, well, follow you, find you?
Yes, yes. So I think you have it and it'll be in the show notes, but so right now while my website is being built, I'm on my third website now. So it's under construction again. But so my Linktree has everything in one. But if you want to just get right to the point, go to my landing page and book with me, or just see a little blurb that I wrote out. It's just lifedesignbyjesi.com. And that will be the name of my website as well. But for now, it's just a landing page. But yeah, I've got, in that link tree, it's got my ebook, it's got my podcast, The
Oh,
Goddess
nice. You have
Collective.
an ebook.
Yes, that's called Career Success Secrets. So it's all
Mm-hmm.
about how to create more fulfillment in your life, exactly where you are, and how to level up. Whether you want to level up in career or want to level up in, something that feels a little bit more life purpose filled for you, that's not corporate based, teaching you how to just kind of navigate either one of those avenues and changing through mindset work, seeing things differently, creating a new lens to all of it. So that's a little bit on what that book's about. But yeah, I've got my podcast, The Goddess Collective, and I've got my YouTube channel as well. That's all in there. So it's all in one for now.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to look for them for the YouTube channel and the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll have to have you on mine.
Oh yes, girl. Let's set it. Let's schedule it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really had a great time, a great conversation.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It honestly was a pleasure and grateful.
I'll definitely be in contact with you. So people go check her out. Everything will be in the show notes. Thank you again for listening to another episode. Hope you have a blessed day.